Have you ever met somebody who seems like they might be that special someone? They make you feel things nobody else can. You already start to picture your future together when you realize he doesn't have a job. I'm Erik Halterman, and in this video, we'll be talking about exactly that. From a fantasy baseball perspective, that is. I'll be discussing 6 players who I'll be watching very closely this spring training, because I'm not sure they have opening day jobs at the moment, but if they do win one, I want them on my team. The first guy on today's list is actually 2 players, Kristian Campbell and Roman Anthony, both top 5 prospects over at RotoWire.com, both on the Red Sox. A lot of similarities between them. Both of them have power and speed from an up-the-middle position. That would be center field for Roman Anthony, and really all 3 of shortstop, second base, and center for Kristian Campbell. Both of them tore up the upper minors last year, and both of them have already spent some time at AAA. That's 35 games for Anthony and 19 for Campbell. That's enough time that either of them should have the chance at breaking camp in the majors if they have a strong enough spring, but also it's not that many games, so it wouldn't be that weird to see the Red Sox send them down for a month or 2 or more at the start of the season. Both of their odds got a little bit longer at making the opening day roster after the Alex Bregman signing. There already was a bit of a roster crunch, and now there's even more of one in Boston. But if either Roman Anthony or Kristian Campbell tears it up this spring, are the Red Sox really going to keep them off the roster? I don't think so. Next on the list, we've got Coby Mayo, another very highly touted prospect. He's number 10 at RotoWire. He's stuck in a crowded Orioles organization, which meant he had to wait until August last year to make his MLB debut, despite the fact that he had a 926 OPS at the AAA level. And when he did arrive, he only got sporadic opportunities and was terrible. Almost struck out half the time, at a 293 OPS in 17 games. Now, there's no obvious path to playing time for Coby Mayo this year either, but 2 things could change that. One, there could be a trade. The Orioles, they still have too many good young hitters, and they don't seem to have quite enough pitching. So maybe Mayo is in an opening day lineup somewhere, just not in Baltimore. Or, of course, he could have a truly dominant spring. Is a contender like the Orioles really going to keep a young talent like Mayo off the roster if he absolutely crushes the ball in March? I don't think so. If you're enjoying today's video, we've created like and subscribe buttons especially for you. And we've also created a comment section where you can share the players you're hoping will win jobs this spring. Groundbreaking stuff, I know. Now back to the names. We've got Jhonkensy Noel. He's one of those players where you can immediately tell what his game looks like just by looking at him. He is a massive man, and when he makes contact with the ball, it goes far. 14.5% barrel rate in 198 plate appearances as a 22-year-old rookie last season. That would have ranked 16th in all of baseball if he had enough plate appearances to qualify for the leaderboard. Hit 13 homers in about a third of a season, so you can say that's 40 homer power. Now, of course, Noel doesn't hit the ball often. He had a 32% strikeout rate, and he doesn't get on base, a 288 OBP last year. He also doesn't run, doesn't do much on defense, and he bats right-handed, so he could be stuck on the short side of a platoon with Will Brennan, who's a well-rounded player who's not very interesting for fantasy purposes. That was the setup for most of last year, but if there's a sign that Noel is going to be a true starting right fielder this season, look out. I think he's going to hit quite a lot of home runs. Let's move to the mound, where we've got Kumar Rocker, who's been through quite the journey in recent years. He was the 10th overall pick in 2021 by the Mets, who refused to sign him after seeing his physical. He underwent shoulder surgery that year, and then he pitched in indie ball and was drafted 3rd overall by the Rangers. And then he underwent Tommy John surgery in May of 2023. He made it back to game action last July and actually made it all the way to the majors for his MLB debut in September, where he struck out 14 batters in 11 2/3 innings over 3 short starts. Rocker looks like the Rangers' 6th starter at the moment, but he could easily outpitch Cody Bradford this spring, or any of the Rangers' other starters. Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi, John Gray, or Tyler Mahle could get hurt. It's a rather injury-prone group, so keep an eye on Rocker and his path to a rotation role this spring. Finally, let's close with a closer, or at least a potential closer. Jordan Romano was non-tendered by the Blue Jays after he battled elbow injuries for most of last year and struggled to a 6.59 ERA when he was available. The Phillies signed him to a 1-year deal in December, but did they bring him in to be a closer, or did they bring him in merely to be one of the guys in a committee? Drafters aren't so sure. You could still get him for pretty cheap, and there's multiple paths to Romano not closing this year. His health issues could return. I think there's a very real chance that we wind up seeing him on the injured list in March or April, or the Phillies could just elect to use a committee. For much of the Rob Thompson era, a committee has been the Phillies' preference, but they haven't exclusively used one. Craig Kimbrell and Carlos Estevez have both had periods as true, genuine closers. So a healthy Jordan Romano, if he's going to be used as a traditional closer for a contender like the Phillies, we could easily see him finished as a top 3, top 5 closer by the end of the season. Just want to get some sort of indication from the team that that will in fact be his role. That'll do it for today's video. Head on over to rotowire.com/try for free access to the site.